The medical issue of having 3 testicles or balls is sometimes reported. Occasionally, it is found that there are 3 testicles or balls suddenly present.
It happens.
What exactly could it be? What precisely is it? In today's video presentation, let's thoroughly discuss this important topic. You've most likely heard about it, and you may have even personally experienced it yourself, that there is a noticeable pain in the balls, specifically in the testicles, what we also commonly know as the male gonads or testes. Actually, you are completely free to make a movie, but that's as much as is meticulously made inside the testicles. Everything essential passes through the testicles. It is carefully formed within the testicles themselves, but this is indeed a very sensitive and delicate part of the human body. It truly is, and you also absolutely have to take exceptional care of it, much like a precious helicopter, with great attention and caution. You must have noticed that often, especially today,
People are particularly careful that there is absolutely no injury, that nothing ever hits it. Of course, it should be protected in precisely the same way, the delicate testicles and the sensitive groin area. If there is any significant injury or someone unfortunately gets hit, or if there is any kind of trauma, it can cause very significant and lasting damage. That can indeed happen, and especially it can be extremely severe, and
there can even be a significant loss of the testicle itself. If the testicle is severely damaged, then sometimes one of the biggest and most concerning reasons can be that the entire ball is completely lost.
This unfortunate situation can happen due to this particular medical issue. Now you must understand that basically the balls are indeed the testicles, and what precisely happens with them is that there can be a lot of...
In the testicle, actually, there can be many complex processes that occur leading to various conditions.
In some... Yes, absolutely, it can happen
in anyone at any time.
this pain can occur at any age.
It can happen, and the pain...
There can be many reasons for it, and sometimes there may not be any reason at all. Sometimes you may feel pain on the surface, and you might not even know the cause.
You might experience it, but it can also happen inside the balls. Sometimes it happens that there is an obstruction which causes the blood flow to become restricted.
This starts happening, and very rarely. Sometimes the pain occurs because the blood supply gets restricted, and when that happens, the pain can become very severe. If the blood supply gets restricted, in such a situation, it can also happen that the testicle can get damaged and become completely non-functional. It can be destroyed.
That's why this is also considered an emergency condition. For those who experience pain in their testicles, this could be the reason.
It could be that something of mine,
Like an STI, a sexually transmitted infection.
Because of the disease,
There can be a lot of pain in the testicles, meaning there can be severe pain in the balls, and due to some sexually transmitted infection, a disease of the tract, or because of some trauma.
by trauma, I mean, for example, if while sleeping at night, you accidentally get hit in that area, or you yourself apply pressure there.
Or if some pressure is applied while riding a bike.
Something hits you somewhere while riding.
Or if you have an accident.
or when kids are fighting with each other, or even while playing rough in a group. Even in that, something could hit that area.
And sometimes you might not even realize it.
Something could hit, and
Because of that too, there can be trauma, and the balls can experience a lot of pain. Another thing is, how can you
can check this because the balls
Can have different types of pain. What could it be? First of all, as I said, you might feel a very sharp pain.
This pain can sometimes be unbearable.
along with the pain?
What happens is that the scrotum,
And on top of that, the cap that covers it can also become red. There can be swelling as well. And
the balls themselves can also become red. There can be redness, swelling can occur, and along with that, the person
Can have a fever, can develop a temperature. There can also be the start of pus formation or discharge. These are some common symptoms that people
experience, and when we tell them
that this is something to be concerned about if they are experiencing such problems along with swelling. So, like pain in the testicles, redness, dry swelling in the scrotum and the cap on top,
which is dry and swollen, And along with that, if you are having a fever,
If the pain is very severe, it can be an emergency situation. In such cases, you need to address it immediately and see a doctor right away.
if there is no trauma or
There is no trace of any injury, or if the blood flow is not blocked,
if there is any other issue,
Or if there is no STI, meaning no sexually transmitted infection, then it could also be something that happens on its own.
sometimes the pain resolves on its own and becomes very mild, in which case you can just wait. But if the pain does not get better or keeps getting worse, then you should see a doctor about this as soon as possible.
it's important to get this checked by a doctor. As I mentioned earlier, these are very
Sensitive parts of the body, so try to
Make sure you properly complete any prescribed course of treatment for your condition.
And definitely take care of yourself. Protect yourself. For example, these days, we see that people who are driving cars often
place their phones on their seat.
or keep their mobile phones between their legs. This is actually very damaging for the balls.
And it can be extremely harmful for your balls.
The functioning of their balls
And their ability to produce sperm can be affected by this because mobile phones emit a lot of heat, so try to protect yourself from excessive heat as much as possible because the balls are very sensitive.
heat itself can be very dangerous for them. We often see that people keep their laptops on their laps.
And while it's on their lap,
They are working, so try to keep your laptop on a table so that your balls are protected from that heat. Similarly, try to make sure that your boxers, the ones you wear, the underwear you use, the ones you wear, try to use ones that are a bit loose so that they are not too tight in case you are experiencing a lot of pain. As I mentioned, if you have pain, you can take any painkiller. Try to restrict yourself a little so that if there is swelling, it
does not start to increase too much. Try to keep your arm elevated. You can place something underneath it. For example, you can use a phone
Or any similar object to support it.
so that the swelling does not increase too much, and in the same way,
Try to change your clothes as little as possible. This doesn't mean you should wear dirty clothes, but take care.
to change them only when necessary, and
handle your clothes very carefully when changing them so that your
wounds are disturbed as little as possible.
and there is minimal
Damage, if any, does not get worse. So try to take care of your testicles. Copy this, because if your testicles are healthy, your sex life will also be healthy.
I hope to see you again in another video with someone new. Until then, goodbye.